because I had a criminal conviction. So again, this bill is really just around giving people a fair chance at housing.
Right. Kendra, I want to play for you. We spoke with somebody earlier from the other side, and I want to get your reaction. This is Frank Ricci from the Rent Stabilization Association. He says it's a matter of safety. Take a quick listen.
Criminal background checks is just one of several tools that owners need to have at their disposal to evaluate a potential tenant in the building and weigh that against the other residents in the building and their safety.
So what about that landlord saying it's all about safety, and if it's somebody who isn't like you with a fraud-related conviction, but a more serious crime, could that be a concern?
You know, that fraud is not the only crime that I have on my background. I have about 10 years of criminal history from 3 different states. And so, you know, I always talk about how hurt people and heal people heal people. And that's really the crux of it. You know, the landlord will still be able to do a background check. They'll be able to check references. They'll be able to check your income. They do not need to know a criminal conviction that was 10 or 20 years ago that's on your record and then hold that against you. I talk a lot about folks that when you're getting housing ready, that means that you're employed. That means that you've been through the treatment that you need. That means that you've begun your education. And those are the folks that are looking for housing. They're housing ready and they're looking for housing and they're being discriminated against. So we're not talking about the person who's being released yesterday and then moving them into your apartment building tomorrow. We're talking about people that have been home, that have really done everything that they need to do to maintain stability in their life, and the only thing that's missing is a fair chance at housing. And again, I think this law also, you know, it doesn't prevent landlords from checking the New York State Sex Offense Registry. That's public information. You can check that, you know, all you want. And also, if there's a state or federal law or regulation that requires them to do a background check, then this city bill does not supersede that. So again, you know, when you really look at this actual piece of legislation, it is solely around giving people a fair chance at housing.
All right, Kendra Clark, we thank you for sharing this side of the story and your own personal story with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
All news, all the time. This is 1010 Wins. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good afternoon. Sunshine, real feel of 86 degrees at 120. I'm Bridget Quinn. Here's what's happening. A wellness check in Brooklyn turns up a dead man found with canisters labeled biohazard. A mother and her teenage son are in the hospital after they stabbed each other during an argument. Former Governor Cuomo suing Attorney General Letitia James over his legal bill. The number of Americans who signed up for unemployment benefits rose last week to the highest level since November. And from Mariah to Metallica, we'll tell you about the big show in Central Park coming up. AccuWeather says warm. It turns less humid as we progress through the afternoon with a mix of sun and clouds and a high of 86 degrees. Things news time 1:21. Time for traffic and transit with Greg Rice.
Well, here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Citybound George Washington Bridge, 45 uppers, 30 minutes on the inbound lower, and the northbound west side and southbound E, and the better option getting you out of town. Crossroads crawling, getting to the outbound side from West Chester Avenue. Lincoln Tunnel into the city, going to run about 10 minutes. Ditto on the outbound ride. Holland Tunnel into the city, a little worse off the Skyway. Newark Bay, the better play. Outbound Holland behaves. Brooklyn bound Brooklyn Bridge with left lane work. Citybound is bunched up too. The citybound upper level of the Manhattan Bridge with left lane work. The Brooklyn bound Williamsburg outer roadway with some construction as well. Whitestone is a bit slow either way, but the Throg's not getting worse. You want the RFK. In fact, it's going to be not awful either way. Belt's still bad in either direction across Bay Boulevard because of earlier construction, and then the eastbound Belt brake lights into Springfield Avenue or Springfield Boulevard. All with left lane work. Staten Island Expressway is anything but, because eastbound at Victory Boulevard, you got left lane work, and that's going to load you up all the way back to the Goethals Bridge. I'm Greg Rice. Our next report at 1:31 on 1010 Wins.
A full-scale federal and local investigation is underway this afternoon involving the death of a man found in his Brooklyn apartment with canisters labeled biohazard. hazard. Neighbors called him drunken because in the 60s and 70s he owned a knish shop here. Rita Figueres says he was a veteran.
He had a lot of breathing issues. He survived cancer years ago.
Police called to the apartment Wednesday at 25 101st Avenue for a wellness check, discovering the 75-year-old decomposing, sitting in a chair inside those suspicious containers and schematics for some unknown building. Workers in the store where he often played the lottery say they hadn't seen him since July 26th when he left not feeling well. Meanwhile, Figueres' husband Stephen doesn't think he could have been up to anything nefarious.
People on the street had no food. I think he walked by here, give them money, or he was a good person.
The containers, however, prompting a massive response. Bags labeled hazmat sat on the sidewalk as the FBI cordoned off the whole block. Samantha Leeson, 1010 Winds in Cypress Hills, Brooklyn. Winds News Time 1:23. Moms and teenagers fight sometimes, but nothing like this. A Brooklyn mother and her teenage son wound up in the hospital after an argument turned violent. The 44-year-old mother and her 17-year-old son attacking each other with knives inside their Coney Island house's apartment last night. The mother is now in critical condition with stab wounds to his stomach and arms. The son is in stable condition with stab wounds to his head and forearm. Neither has yet been charged. And a 14-year-old is the latest victim of deadly gun violence in the city and the Bronx.
Police Commissioner Sewell taking to Twitter to say the NYPD working tirelessly to find out how 14-year-old Jacob Borbin was shot in the chest and killed in the lobby of this building here in East 194th Street. Borbin's family insisting it was some type of accident. But the investigation goes on. Community activist Darrell Bennett among those here.
Our nation's in a cycle of what we're seeing here is the repercussion of what we've sown. We've sown the wind, and now we're seeing the word. And this is happening across cities all over the country. I'm originally not from New York. I moved here.
As police were passing by one in the morning, they found the teen in the street and took him to St. Barnabas, where he passed away. One shot, 1010 Winds, in Fordham Manor.
Former Governor Andrew Cuomo is now suing New York State Attorney General Letitia James. Cuomo claims James' office wrongly rejected his request to have the state pay his lawyer's fees in the federal suit filed against him by a state police trooper who accused him of sexually harassing her. In the statement, James condemns the move, saying, quote, Andrew Cuomo is trying to force New Yorkers to pay his legal bills because he believes sexual harassment was within his scope of employment as governor. She continues, quote, taxpayers should not have to pony up for legal bills so his lawyers can attack survivors of his abuse. A Park Slope woman wants justice after she says somebody attacked her dog last week in Prospect Park, leading to the Golden Mix's death. Jessica Krusick says she was walking with her dog Moose at about 6:30 in the morning when a man who she believes is homeless and she has noticed before started following them, then attacked. She tells Newsline.
I just quickly tried to cross the street, not realizing specifically that he was following us with his stick, and we tried to get up the stairs. I got about halfway up the stairs, and he got me in the back, and when we got to the top of the stairs, he got Moose square in the face.
And Krusick telling us that the dog underwent emergency surgery for a broken tooth and seemed to be okay, but then she had to take him to the vet ER, and she learned that he was septic and the dog died a short time later. That suspect is on the loose. She has indeed filed a report with police. For the first time in 5 months, the price of gasoline under $4 a gallon nationwide.
AAA says the national average for a gallon of regular gas has fallen to $3.99, and the shopping app Gas Buddy cited an average of $3.98. That's down more than $1 from mid-June, and the first time it's gone below $4 in 5 months. Motorists in some western states are still paying more. Oil prices have dropped on concerns about slowing economic growth around the world, and the U.S. benchmark for crude oil recently dipped close to $90 a barrel. Republicans are blaming President Biden for high gas prices, while Biden has been sparring with oil companies, accusing them of posting huge profits while not producing as much oil and gas as they could be. Jennifer King, Washington.
It's News Time 1:26, and that brings us to Bloomberg Money Watch on 1010 Winds. Here's Ann Cates.
Prices at the wholesale level have declined for the first time in more than 2 years.
The Producer Price Index, which measures inflation before it reaches consumers, fell 0.5% in July from the month before. The reading could indicate that Americans will get a break from relentless inflation, coupled with yesterday's better-than-expected consumer price numbers. The labor market remains tight, although more people are applying for unemployment benefits. First-time jobless claims have increased by 14,000 last week to 262,000, holding their levels last seen last November. The U.S. economy recovered strongly from the COVID-19 recession of 2020, leaving many companies these days scrambling to find workers. Bloomberg Money Watch at 26 and 56 past every hour. I'm Ann Cates for 1010 Wins.
If you're struggling with addiction, medication that can support recovery may be the right option. Call 844-REACH-NJ to find out the facts and learn whether medication could be part of your recovery journey. Call today. Your future is waiting. 844-REACH-NJ.
And now this message, Rafelson Levine Law, providing accident victims hope. For a free consult, visit rllawyers.com today.
It's easy to think all money managers are pretty much the same, but at Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Different how? You sell high-commission investment products, right?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission-based investment products.
Well, you must earn commissions on trades.
Nope, never at Fisher. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in our clients' best interest. It's the highest standard of care for a financial advisor.
How do you know what's in their best interest?
We get to know our clients and then tailor a portfolio based on their goals and needs.
But you probably sneak in some hidden and layered fees.
No, we have one transparent management fee, structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, you really do look out for your clients.
That's because our top priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. It might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investments and securities involve the risk of loss.
Do you know what people see when they Google you? Search engines don't always get it right. And when they're wrong, it's your reputation on the line. So what do you do when you don't agree with your search results? Call Reputation Defender at 800-933-1022. Reputation Defender by Norton is one of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. We have over a decade of experience in fixing people's search results, and we can help you too. Using cutting-edge approaches, Reputation Defender pushes unflattering information down to lower pages of your search results, where few people ever look. We also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, letting you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. You owe it to yourself to take control with Reputation Defender. Visit www.reputationdefender.com or call 800-933-1022 for free advice on your situation. 800-933-1022.
And now this message. If you're a shorter guy, visit PeterManningNYC.com for the best fitting clothes. And once again, that is PeterManningNYC.com. And you are listening to Newsline on this Thursday afternoon, 11th of August. I'm Bridget Quinn. Economic news again today. On the heels of those inflation numbers, the number of Americans who signed up for unemployment benefits rose last week to the highest level since November.
For the fifth time in 6 weeks, initial unemployment applications rose in the past week, this time by 16,000 for a total of 262,000. But the previous week's level was revised down by 12,000. And analysts say the job market is still showing signs of strength. The states with the most initial filings, Connecticut, Oklahoma, and North Carolina.
And Jim Ryan, unemployment application